All right. Do you want to cover this story about that malware game on Steam?
Yeah. So recently, well, I guess I should start back. So there was a game on PC or on Steam called Pirate. I don't know if this was pronounced Pirate Fire, Pirate Fee, but it was a game. It was a free-to-play game, a survival game that you play by yourself or multiplayer with others, and it was sort of a far pirate type of game on that free-to-play game. So at some point, users were contacted by Valve, uh, who pulled the game from the store, saying that it contained suspected malware. And this wasn't initially part of the game, but it was taken off following an update that was suspected to contain malicious files. And that's when they sent users who possibly had used an updated version of the game to say, "Hey, there's a chance that your computer might be infected," and to check your computer, scan it and stuff like that. Use your antivirus, scan it. Consider reformatting your operating system and ensure that there's no malicious software that's on there. Um, and I've got several thoughts about this instance, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
I am someone who praises Valve and praises Steam a lot. I mean, it's great that they removed it shortly after they found out about this, but they need to have better quality control. They cannot let this happen because that's a big deal having basically a Trojan virus embedded in a free to play game. That's just it's just not acceptable. I like I'm looking at the article here, and the Valve says, run a full system scan, consider inspect for unexpected or newly installed software. You may consider fully reformatting your operating system to ensure that it doesn't remain on your machine. And yes, it's good that at least they're telling people what they would have to do. And yes, these are tips that people should definitely follow. They need to follow this for sure if they installed this game. Honestly, I would probably go as far as just reformatting, because it's better to do that and have to go through the hassle of redoing everything than to not do it and have your information stolen, among other potential problems. But I really think Valve they need to be doing some sort of, I mean, I don't know what exactly they need to do, but they need to do something to make sure this doesn't happen again, because that could be a big problem. And while it's not necessarily their fault entirely, it's still something that just shouldn't be happening. So I'll at least give them praise that they took action very quickly once they found out about it, but I just don't think it should have happened in the first place. So that's what I got.
So my actual knee-jerk reaction was I thought this was much worse than it was, as far as I thought the game initially released on the store with the malware included, to which I thought, how did this even happen in the first place? How did this get, how was this a game even approved to launch, be released on the store? And then I realized that it was through a patch and update that it happens. And so I feel like I'm a little bit more forgiving of the fact that I don't know how the process works as far as with updates going through games. I don't know if any type of testing or any type of application or update needs to be approved by Valve. But if it is something that Valve lets slip past, like you said, Valve needs to fix that, because that's not something that that's not something that customers and users should be concerned about or need to be concerned about, because especially considering the fact that most games update automatically, and for the most part, you really don't even have a choice, and you have to update a game in order to play it a lot of the times, which sometimes is, good, but sometimes there are certain times where you would rather just play a certain version of a game because either some stuff could get patched out that you really don't feel like working with, or a patch could say mess up your mods, because I know that sometimes that has happened with mods, where a new patch just breaks all the mods you had installed before. So you might not necessarily want to automatically update, but because you do have to automatically update, Valve should definitely try to have some sort of system set up where they can approve these updates before they go through, just because you don't want anything like this happening again. Now, again, I don't know how things work there, but I like I said, I am glad that it wasn't a game where I thought the worst, where they just initially just sold the game. I mean, it was free, but they just released the game automatically with bugs and viruses and whatnot. And it is good that they did, like you said, warn users and tell them about the steps they need to take. But this is definitely something where it is a rare Valve L.
Right.
But yeah, so bad situation. Hopefully too many people weren't infected by this, and hopefully whoever was infected didn't have anything seriously damaging or anything that could seriously compromise their computers, because those are the worst types of things to have to deal with.
Right. Agreed. And yeah, that's a good point. I missed the fact that it was just in the update and that it wasn't the original thing, but definitely they need to make sure that they do something to keep this from happening again. And what exactly that is, I don't know. So